The first day of school is almost here. Most districts in the upstate and western North Carolina will go back next Monday, August 19th. Greenville, Pickens, and Abbeville counties head back on Tuesday the 20th. Fox Carolina is getting you and your family ready to head back to school. And if your child's feeling a little anxious about going back and maybe worried about being bullied, we're talking with an expert on how to help deal with that too and tell your children. Tori's here in studio with a local mental health counselor. So Tori, what else can we learn?
Yeah, this is such an important topic as we go back to school. And we are joined this evening with Brittany Clow. She's from Counseling Services of Greenville. And thank you for being with us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. And we want to start this off by talking about anxiety. I know a lot of adults get anxiety. Children do as well. And that's something that, you know, parents need to be aware of.
Absolutely, and I think we think of anxiety as people who are just nervous all the time, right? But a lot of times we find that kids are actually going to show that differently. A lot of times you see kids who are a little bit more controlling, always want to have their questions answered, all sorts of questions about what's happening next, why is it happening, which is normal to a degree, but at a certain point it becomes about wanting to know that they're safe and how to decide when they need to be concerned and when not to be. And so some of the signs we see with kids are things like nail biting. If you see them constantly chewing or picking, sometimes pulling or biting at their hair, that can be a sign. Also things like defiance, sometimes just wanting to do it their way because that's how they feel like it's safe. Kids who struggle with sleeping sometimes, so all of a sudden their sleep habits change. They get very sometimes impulsive. So we see all different types of behaviors, a lot of times irritability too with children is anxiety.
That's so interesting. Some of those things you wouldn't ever maybe
put it all together,
associate it with. What are some ways to treat that anxiety?
There's a whole slew of different things, right? But I think a lot of times kids who want that predictability to talk through the new schedule, especially with changes coming up, kids transitioning from elementary to middle school to high school, kids starting school for the first time or moving to a new school. Talking through the new schedule. First we'll get up at this time and then you'll go to before care and then you'll have class and this is what it'll look like and this is who will pick you up. So going through the day and kind of explaining what they're going to see throughout the day can be helpful in managing anxiety. Also things like teaching calming, right? Teaching them how to take deep breaths and slow their thinking down, doing things like yoga, talking to a friend or a teacher when they're upset. And then, you know, when it becomes where they're struggling in school and not able to kind of do their normal thing, then maybe talking to a counselor or considering medication at the far end of the spectrum if they're really struggling.
I like how you say doing yoga or something calming.
Sure.
That's something that parents could even do with their children.
Absolutely. It teaches them how to have some control over their body and how to notice when their body is stressed out. A lot of times even adults don't notice it and we're clenching our jaws and carrying all of our stress on our shoulders. A lot of times that's anxiety.
And now moving to that other talking point of bullying, which, you know, we talk about it, but maybe not as much even as we should, especially at the start of school when it's new faces, new classes, new environments
new
for
hierarchies.
A lot of students. You know, where do we begin with bullying and schools and with kids?
Well, I think the classic idea of a bully, the kid who knocks the folders down in the hallway, is it's not so much anymore. A lot of it is very, it's insidious. It's online internet bullying, bullying on social media. And so we have to look for things in our kids, so things like changes in behavior, kids who are suddenly withdrawn, a little bit more tearful, sometimes even if they start to bully their younger siblings, so you see behaviors in them that are unusually mean and you don't normally see that, that can be a symptom of being bullied. And so looking at teaching kids how to manage that, how to talk about their feelings and who to trust and who to tell is really important.
And social media, I know, plays a big role in bullying
Absolutely.
too, so that's something for parents to keep an eye on as well. And we are out of time this afternoon, but thank you for being here.
Yes, of course. Thanks for having me. It's an important topic, so thank you.
Sure is. Back to you, Cody.
All right, Tori, thanks so much.